False news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these things they simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think, and this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
What if I told you that your thoughts, your beliefs, your very perception of reality might not be yours at all? Every day, unseen forces are waging war on your mind. Psychological operations, or PSYOPs, are designed to control public perception, shape mass behavior, and make you believe that their truth is the only truth. Governments, politicians, intelligence agencies, and the media have perfected these tactics over decades, and unless you know how to spot them, you are their target. The illusion of choice. One of the most effective PSYOP tactics is making people believe they have a choice, when in reality they don't. This isn't just about politics, but as an example, in elections, we often see two opposing candidates who conveniently support the same core policies behind the scenes. In media, we're given multiple news sources that all repeat the same script. How to spot it? Look for similarities in messaging across supposedly different platforms. If both sides push the same fundamental narratives, question the illusion of choice. Research who funds and controls media networks, corporations, and politicians. The use of experts to manufacture consent. When a government or corporation wants to push a specific agenda, they don't just tell you outright. Instead, they use experts to say it for them. This is the appeal to authority, a tactic where institutions present hand-picked professionals who reinforce the desired narrative. Watch out for things like expert panelists or endorsements, where authority figures speak outside of their expertise. For example, the 2008 financial crisis. Major banks paid economists and financial analysts to downplay risks, reassuring the public right before the crash. During COVID-19, conflicting expert opinions were suppressed, while select voices were amplified to push policies that benefited corporations. To spot a possible PSYOP, you need to ask yourself, who funds this expert? Do they have financial or political ties? Look for independent voices who challenge mainstream narratives. The bandwagon effect. Everyone believes it, so it must be true. Fake social media trends such as governments and corporations using bots and paid influencers to make certain hashtags or opinions trend. This tricks people into thinking, everyone supports this, I should too. Artificial polling. Polls are often manipulated to show false majorities, influencing public opinion before elections. You can spot this by checking who is promoting a trend or idea. Are they real people or just influencers and bots? Remember, popularity does not equal truth.
I believe in my power. I believe in my power. I believe in your power. I believe in your power. I believe in our power. I believe in our power. I believe in black trans power. I believe in black trans power.
Repetition. The more you hear it, the more you believe it. If you hear something enough times, you'll start to believe it, whether it's true or not. This is why PSYOPs rely on repetition. They bombard you with the same slogans, the same claims, the same experts, until they become reality in your mind. For example, weapons of mass destruction. The US government repeated the claim that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction so often that most Americans believed it despite zero evidence. Social norm shifting. Concepts like the new normal are introduced gradually, then repeated until they become accepted. How to spot it? If a phrase is being repeated endlessly across different sources, ask yourself, why? Who benefits? Crisis and fear-mongering. Problem, reaction, solution. Never let a good crisis go to waste. A crisis, whether real or manufactured, allows governments to push agendas the public would normally reject. This is the problem reaction solution model. For example, the Patriot Act. After 9/11, fear was used to justify mass surveillance. People were told they had to trade privacy for security. Health mandates. Fear of illness allowed governments to enforce restrictions that were unthinkable before. How to spot it? If a solution appears suspiciously fast after a crisis, question whether the problem was anticipated or even created. Watch for emotional manipulation. If fear is being used more than facts, be skeptical. The false enemy, otherwise known as divide and conquer. The easiest way to control people is to divide them. By creating artificial enemies, those in power distract us from the real threats: corruption, financial elites, and centralized control. As an example, political division. The media frames issues as left versus right when the real battle is the people versus those in power. In the case of identity politics, instead of uniting against economic inequality, people are distracted by racial, gender, and cultural battles. Ask yourself, who benefits from this division? If the conflict keeps everyday people fighting each other instead of the elite, it's a psyop. How to protect yourself from psychological warfare. 1. Question emotional responses. Emotional responses suppress critical thinking. If something makes you extremely angry, scared, or hopeful, stop and ask, am I being manipulated? 2. Follow the money. Look into who funds the news, politicians, and organizations you listen to. 3. Seek out independent voices. Listen to people who challenge mainstream narratives, even if you disagree. 4. Think in the long term. PSYOPs rely on short-term panic. Step back and analyze the bigger picture. 5. Never blindly trust authority. Experts and officials should always be scrutinized. Truth doesn't require censorship or propaganda. Recognizing PSYOPs is just the first step. By staying informed and questioning the narratives presented to you, you can reclaim your power as an informed citizen. What PSYOP have you encountered? Let us know in the comments below about your experiences with media manipulation.